In fact, aside from the establishment of the Doomsday Clock itself, this probably stands out as one of the most important moments in the clock's history. Moving the hands to 17 minutes to midnight was the result of several key developments, including the end of the Cold War and the signing of the START Treaty between the United States and the Soviet Union. Not to understate things, but the end of the Cold War marked a major shift in global politics as the long-standing tensions between the two superpowers began to ease. The signing of START marked the first agreement between the United States and the Soviet Union to reduce their nuclear arsenals and was seen as a major step toward reducing the threat of a nuclear war. Both the US and the USSR, and then Russia, agreed to significantly reduce the number of strategic nuclear weapons that they deployed. Even when the USSR broke apart, the four nuclear-capable successor states, Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, and Kazakhstan, signed the Lisbon Protocol, which made all five nations, including the United States, party to the START agreement. These developments led the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists to move the Doomsday Clock's hands back from 15 minutes to midnight to 17 minutes to midnight, reflecting a reduction in the threat of global catastrophe.
Although now in 2023, it is, well, Ukraine giving up all of their nuclear arsenal might.
We're going to get there.
Well, we'll get there, yeah. So, the original design for the Doomsday Clock, it only showed the last quarter hour of an analog clock face. So it showed the portion that's between 9 and 12. So it's just that like quarter of a circle. And therefore, moving the clock hands to 17 minutes to midnight moved the minute hand out of the visible frame on the clock. That was a deliberate choice because this was seen as such a big deal. It was symbolic of the incredible sense of relief that many felt after enduring 45 years without a nuclear exchange between the United States and the USSR, but constantly feeling like it was going to happen any day now. However, setting the clock to 17 minutes to midnight didn't last. 3 years later, the clock slowly began ticking towards midnight again. And since 1991, the only year that the hands moved away from midnight was in 2010, when the Obama administration worked with Russia and China to address a couple global threats, with Russia to begin a further reduction in nuclear arsenals and negotiations with Iran, and with China to address carbon emissions. The Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists noted that other challenges, such as consolidating and securing military and civilian nuclear material, further reduction of nuclear arsenals, the threat of nuclear terrorism, adopting and fulfilling climate change agreements to reduce carbon dioxide emissions, reducing dependence on coal, and investing in renewable energy, these all needed to be addressed for more significant movement in the hand. Because it only moved a minute in 2010, from 5 minutes to midnight to 6 minutes to midnight.
Yeah. I'm thinking about how quickly, relatively quickly, we went from 17 minutes to 90 seconds. But yeah, unfortunately, since 2010, the clock has moved closer and closer to midnight, which brings us to where we are today at 90 seconds.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's definitely fine. So what goes into the time that we see displayed on the clock? Is it just like a gut feeling from these scientists, or are they just like counting and dividing? No, not exactly. They consider several major factors, including nuclear weapons, climate change, cyber threats, artificial intelligence, and technological stuff, and then biological threats.
So obviously, nuclear weapons have been a major factor in the setting of the Doomsday Clock since its creation in 1947. Remember, the clock was originally established in response to the atomic bombing of, you said Hiroshima, and my brain always pronounces it Hiroshima. Now I don't know I don't know what's
I
right.
don't know which one is right.
My gut tells me it's actually Hiroshima, but I don't know.
I know.
I know it's
You are more
Nagasaki.
familiar with the Japanese language than I am. So I would tend to trust that. I am from Minnesota, where we say eggs and bag.
Okay,
I would not trust my pronunciation on Japanese.
I will uh, I will point out that you just subtly called me a weeb to the entire audience, and you're
I
not
did
wrong.
not. I did
You're
not.
more familiar with the pronunciation of Japanese. Yes, yes,
Listen,
yes,
you are
yes.
an international man of mystery, sir.
Okay.
The audience has no idea why you might be familiar with the Japanese language. You outed yourself.
I mean, yeah, it's because I watch a lot of anime. It's true. Moving on. Thank you. The clock, yes, it was established in response to the dropping of the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Accordingly, the continued development of nuclear weapons has been a primary driver of the clock's time in the decades since, and not just nuclear weapons, but nuclear technology. They do take into account, for example, nuclear power and its spread and the responsibility with which we use it. Because, lest you forget, Japan had a major meltdown within our lifetime, and that was caused by a freak perfect storm and a tsunami and an earthquake. But still, like, nuclear power, as safe as it is compared to coal, and I cannot stress this enough, it is still safer than coal over the lifetime of the product, and coal kills tons of people every year, still has issues. So the clock's hands have been set closer to midnight during periods of heightened tensions and conflict between nuclear armed states. Today, the continued possession of nuclear weapons by multiple countries, combined with ongoing tensions and the threat of nuclear terrorism, remains a major factor in the setting of the clock.
Okay, so if nuclear destruction is like a bullet to humanity's collective head, then global warming is cancer. Slower, harder to see for most, and every bit as deadly. The accelerating pace of global warming and its potential impacts on the planet, including rising sea levels, increased frequency of natural disasters, the loss of biodiversity, all of those pose a significant threat to human civilization. So, the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists has increasingly focused on the threat of climate change in recent years. At times, the clock's hands have been set further from midnight as a result of increasing awareness and action on the issue. But that's not the case this time.
We'll get there. We'll get there. I was trying to throw some positivity. Like, we do address these sometimes,
It
and they
has.
do move the hands
Yes.
back.
Good for us.
Yay.
Yay.
It can be done. This one will be very apparent to everybody who's alive and functioning mentally right now. But coming off the heels of COVID, it should be no surprise that biological threats, including pandemics and bioterrorism, play a role in the setting of the doomsday clock. The COVID 19 pandemic highlights the potential impact of infectious diseases on global health and security. We literally cannot explain it any better. Just think back a year or two, which I can't believe too. Ugh. The rapid spread of COVID 19, coupled with the lack of preparedness and response in many countries, underscored the importance of preparedness and resilience and preparation and preparedness and being ready for something and being prepared. And have I mentioned that we should be prepared for these sorts of things maybe better than we were, in the face of these emerging biological threats?
Are you saying we should like get ready? Like be
We should
ready?
probably be ready. And by that, I clearly mean buy all of the toilet paper, leave nothing behind. Um, that that pandemic, COVID, that happened without any human hand guiding its deployment, right? There was
Mm-hmm.
nobody saying, "Go, my COVID disease, go poison the world." Like it was the freaking horrifying,
Did you just say
terrible.
moisten the world?
Uh, did I?
I don't know. Did you?
I don't
That's what
think
I
I
thought I
did.
heard.
I think I said poison the world.
Poison. That is much, much more relevant.
The only thing
Really
moistening the world is my humidifier, which is making it very, it looks very
I,
steamy in here.
I was really confused, but I was going with it for a minute.
I I love the fact that you're always just ready to ride, like just like let's go.
I'm prepared.
She's prepared, folks. However, bioterrorism, which is the use of biological weapons to cause harm, that does require human thought and action, and it is another major concern. The ease of access to information and technology, combined with the growing capabilities of malicious actors, it creates a significant risk of bioterrorism. And because of these factors, the clock's hands have been set closer to midnight in response to, you know, the growing threat posed by bioterrorism and the need for greater action to address the issue and the issue of pandemics and being ready and being ready.
Being prepared.
Be prepared.
Oh, I'm not gonna sing a Disney song.
I was thinking it too. Don't worry, I'm right there with you.
Okay. I won't subject all of you to that, but just know that it's playing in my heart. Okay, so those factors, they feel pretty obvious, honestly, but many people might be surprised to learn that cyber threats are also included in the analysis of how close we are to certain doom. And that's because cyber threats are more than just people trying to steal your dear old granny's credit card information with poorly designed phishing emails. These threats include the potential for cyber attacks on critical infrastructure like gas pipelines and power grids, and the spread of disinformation, which, I mean, do we really need to provide an example for the dangers that disinformation presents to our society? Our podcast.
Hey, that's why we exist.
Hey, exactly. The increasing dependence of society on digital technology, combined with the growing capabilities of malicious actors, creates a really significant risk to global security and stability. So the clock's hands have been set closer to midnight in recent years to reflect the growing threat posed by cyber attacks and the need for greater action to address the issue.
And in a similar vein, the development of advanced artificial intelligence technologies has the potential to revolutionize many aspects of society, but it also creates new security risks, such as the spread of autonomous weapons and the loss of control over AI systems. Which, speaking of AI, we might as well put it in here. Here's a fun fact: we're writing this episode with the help of ChatGPT, the AI conversational bot that was produced by OpenAI. It's pretty neat, actually. And
Yeah.
don't worry, we're still researching everything.
Yeah.
We're using it to basically provide a skeletal structure for this, not actually do research.
Yeah, no, mostly I just wanted to see, like, if I said, okay, write a report outline about the Doomsday Clock, what would it give me? And it actually gave me a much more thorough outline than what we're giving to you because A, we have 45 minutes, and two, we're not writing like a high school report.
Yeah.
But little bit of anticipation building. If you're not a patron, you're going to want to be, because our entire bonus content this week was written by ChatGPT, and it's perfection.
It really
It's
is
so
a
good.
work of art. It's incredible. Anyway, back to Doomsday. The Bulletin.
We had fun.
The Bulletin considers the potential impact of AI on global security and stability. You're noticing a theme here, and will likely adjust the hands accordingly in upcoming updates. I didn't find a specific mention of them using AI to adjust the hands. Disclaimer: I didn't actually get a chance to read the entire 2023 reasoning for why they moved the hands, but I don't think AI was factored into that one.
Yeah, and so I did read that one, and it's like it is a part, but it is not the cause of the move. It wasn't a significant cause for the move. Yeah. So,
and that doesn't really surprise me because AI, as much attention as it's getting right now, it's still developing. Now, that doesn't mean it's not capable by any means, but
right.
Like the first gas internal combustion engines were capable for their time, but they don't hold a candle to the things they can do now. And I feel like that's kind of where we are when it comes to AI development. Is we're seeing its potential, we're seeing where it can take us, but there's a long road ahead to get it fully like as powerful as people fear.
Yeah.
Now, that road might be relatively shorter than how long it took the internal combustion engine to develop, but it's
Right.
still a ways away.
Maybe they should ask GPT for an outline on how to get it there.
It's true.
Don't do that. Oh God, if I just involuntarily caused doomsday.
You've started Terminator. Great.
Again.
Here's something fun. A team in China, this is not related to our episode at all, but because we're talking about killer AI, a team in China just made a robot that can transition from a solid state to a liquid state and then reassemble itself into a solid state again.
I saw that and I freaked out a little bit.
It's pretty cool, though. It's pretty cool.
It was really cool. As someone who was a really big fan of the later Michael Crichton books that involved all of the nanotechnology and the creepy sci-fi shit like that, I got feelings. It was kind of awesome, but also terrifying.